Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rock Out Loud Live, where we interview the future rock stars of Rock Out Loud and then some. And we have a very, very special guest today. Her name is Sofia with an F, not a PH, because Italians spell it with an F, right? Not a PH. Sofia Pernice. This is an incredible interview, and I'll tell you why. Because I remember Sofia when she took, I was going to say when she was this big, but she's only this big now. But when she was this big, she took guitar lessons, and it was in the end of October of last year. I don't know if you remember, it was the end of October. And I saw this kid playing the drums to a Green Day song. I was sitting in the corner of the stage looking at her. She caught my eye. And as she caught my, that's the smile she gave me. She gave me, like, I got this. This is so much fun. Her timing was perfect. Her playing was spot on. You couldn't tell the difference between the band Green Day or you even playing. So, ladies and gentlemen, Sofia with an F, Sofia Pernice, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest drummer of all time. Let's give her a round of applause. So it turns out, so actually, why don't you say hello, because this is all about you.
Hello.
So it started out where we needed a drummer, and it was an all-girls band, and the first thing I said was, we got to try Sofia Pernice, but you guys live on Staten Island, and we were in Jersey, and I didn't think you guys would be able to make it. So I think Tony had called your mom or your dad, and what was that conversation like? Do you remember?
I'm not really sure, but I think they probably just talked about, like, I mean, I didn't really, like, I didn't know about
So they didn't even tell you about the band. They just said, we're going to take a ride to Jersey.
I didn't know about this until that Friday.
Really? And you came that Friday. So you knew about it and came right over. And then when Tony told me that you were going to do it, I was like, that's awesome. Now, I knew that when they looked at you, because you're 10 years old, right? And you're the youngest in the band. And you come in, the sticks are half your size. And I'm like, don't worry about it. She's got this. You're an amazing drummer. And I remember you sat there behind the drums. You knew exactly what you had to do. This was after the first time. So you met all the girls. All the girls absolutely loved you. They were like your big sisters, right? Mm-hmm. And then what I should say is, do you have a favorite? Which out of the four girls? Should I even ask? Which of the four girls? No one's going to even watch this. Out of all the four girls, who's your favorite?
I like them all.
I like them all. That's the right answer, by the way. So yeah, you came in and I remember the two songs. It's so funny what goes on in the background. So we all want to get you on board. So I think it was Jenny sends me over two videos of the songs that you have to play. I send them to Eugene and Nikki. They learn them for you. You take 2 lessons, and literally in 1 lesson each, you learn 2 songs. You come in. And I remember your dad poking in through the window, and I'm like, I can't believe she's playing it. You played every single song perfect, without even making one mistake. Wasn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. So what does it feel like to be in an all-girl band at the age of 10?
Well, it feels really cool and inspiring.
What's inspiring about it?
Well, it's really cool that I get to be in a band with all these girls, and they just, like, they're like sisters.
They are like sisters, right? So when you started to play, because when you played that show in October, you played with one other person. I think Juan played guitar, and then Eugene sang. But now you went to play that show, and now what about the show that you're playing with the band now with your new Element 5? What's the difference?
Well, I just get to, like, hang out with them more.
Really?
And practice more with them.
I saw they pick you up. Is that how you do pictures now? They all pick you up and they hold you and across all the girls?
I don't know.
I saw that picture. It was all over social media, so like you're sort of famous, you know? So back to you. So what was your favorite song to play at that show?
Well, I really like both of the songs, but I feel like Shallow was more of a good song to play on the drums.
Yeah, you were so dynamic in that with the cymbal swells and the build-ups and the crescendos. That was awesome. That was great. Now, you played with the Staten Island School of Rock with the 9 and younger groups. And for the very first time, you were actually the first time to play with the older groups. You were the first one at the Staten Island School of Rock to play a big concert. There's a big difference from, the concert hall that we played in Staten Island to a real concert event venue. What was that like? Tell me.
Well, like,
you breathtaking. You're speechless. You can't even put words to it. You could put some kind of words to it. What was it like?
It was very different.
What was different about it?
There was a lot younger kids on the
Yeah.
9 youngers. There was like all like 5-year-olds, and they were just like, I don't know, but they didn't really like. It's just really different.
No, okay. Fair enough. Well, you played with some great, great artists at that show. And I would say that's more of your peer group, which means those more of the people that you probably want to be around because you're at that level right now. So what was one of your favorite bands that performed that day, besides Element 5?
I didn't get to really watch them all, but the end.
Because you were signing autographs? Was that the reason why? Taking pictures, signing autographs? No? You could be, you could say you were signing autographs. No one's going to really say it's good.
But,
So, go ahead.
I like the rock was cool. The rock band at the end, they were
Horace Green. Yes, that's a great band. Actually, those are the people at the Staten Island School of Rock we put together of almost like the greatest talent. So that's another band. You can do that here over at Rockoutloud. You can, actually, that's what you guys are. So we booked a couple of shows for you. The next show that you're going to be playing, we've also booked the Bitter End. You've never played the Bitter End, right?
No.
Now, the Bitter End is a famous stage. You know some of those people that played the Bitter End?
No.
So Chuck Berry, Bruce Springsteen, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift. You can Google Taylor Swift. I think she was like 15 or 16 playing the Bitter End. You're going to be playing that same stage. How does it feel to play a stage like that?
Feels really cool.
No, the one that you're going to play at the Bitter End. How do you feel about playing the stage that Lady Gaga performed on?
It feels really cool because they're like great artists now, and when they were younger, they played at that stage, and now it's like we could be like them.
Now it's Sofia's turn with an F, not a PH. Sofia's turn to play the Bitter End. That's going to be a great show. And the best part about that show is when you go at the Bitter End, you actually walk down a little hallway to the backstage area, and I give markers out to all the kids that perform, and you sign the same exact walls as Bruce Springsteen, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Chuck Berry. They all sign these walls, and you're going to sign that wall. Do you have any stage names?
No.
But your Element 5, what's your element?
My element's fire.
Fire. Why fire?
Well, because everybody thinks I'm a great drummer, and I'm like.
And you're lit, Jenny?
You got reddish brown. Reddish brown. You are lit.
You are lit. Well, who's some of your favorite drummers?
I don't really have favorite drummers, but I do like some bands.
Who's some of your favorite bands?
Well, I like Bruno Mars.
He's
sings,
awesome.
And I like Pink.
Yeah, she's great too. She's great. So you have 2 coaches at the Staten Island School of Rock?
One.
But I think Nikki and Eugene both work with you. Is that right?
Yeah, Nikki works for me for Shallow.
Right, and Eugene works with you.
For now.
Gotcha. So you started out as a guitar player, and then I see you play drums. What made you change from guitar to drums? Is it because you knew Element 5 was going to look for a drummer, and they already had Catherine playing guitar? That wasn't the reason?
Well, when I was younger, like 4 or 5, I used to take drum lessons.
Really?
Yeah, and then I also played a little bit of piano, and then I switched to guitar last year, and then I came back to drums.
What made you want to go to drums? So it seems like you played a lot of instruments. What made you pick the drums?
I felt like, well, I definitely thought I was better at it, and it was just like, I feel like it's a cool.
It is cool.
instrument.
Yeah, your timing is awesome. How much do you practice every week?
I really only practice with Eugene,
Right.
but sometimes I would just like listen to the song and then just like click my sticks.
But when you practiced for the show, you literally only had less than a week because you were, I think, going on vacation or whatever it was, and then you got the flu. So do you have a drum set at home?
Yeah.
So did you practice at home?
Yeah.
Oh, so it wouldn't have made sense because you came, you were so prepared. Your timing was perfect. Like I said, your dynamics were perfect. Your swells on the cymbal were perfect. That was awesome. So what do you think is going to happen now with Element 5? Do you see yourself playing a lot of shows? You start maybe recording possibly one day?
I feel like we would be playing a lot of shows, and it'll be like we could keep this band for a long time.
That's great. I hope so. Jimmy, I just ask you a question. What's your bedtime?
Maybe 9.
9 o'clock?
9:15.
So why don't we do this, because we have to do this on air. I booked you guys for the Monmouth County Fair, which has about 90,000 people that go through it over the course of 4 days. We booked you on the headline night, which is Friday night. I think it's the 24th of July. But at showtime, you guys are going to start at 10 p.m. What are you going to do?
She ate a lot of candy before.
You ate a lot of candy before. You're going to eat a lot of candy. So you'll be playing a big stage, and you know who you're going to be opening up for? Horace Green. So you'll be opening up for Horace Green. So I think that's a big accomplishment. You've been in a band now for how long has it been?
This one I've been not even a year.
No, in this band. This band's only been, what, 3 months maybe?
Yeah.
2 months? Yeah.
2
And you
months.
picked up really well. So I know that you and your coaches like Jenny, and you have Alyssa who's going to be helping you. And I think Victor, our drum coach, is going to be helping you because you have to learn.
Victor.
Yeah, Victor, about 5 or 6 more songs. And they're going to have to be upbeat songs, not songs that are just, slow. When you play live, you saw with Horace Green, they played some really heavy, great songs. So that'll be something that they're going to ask you to do as well. So it's going to be great. But just the last question I want to ask you. What if you had to play a show and there was nobody to help you set up the drums? Do you think you'd be able to put the drums together all by yourself?
I think so.
Really? That's a hard job. I know Nikki Sticks still has trouble putting drums together. So you've done that before?
Well, like when I practice at my school for band, sometimes I just adjust the snare and the hi-hat.
Listen to you. Oh my God, that is so cool. Yeah, so now you're in a school band too? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. So is there any words of advice that you would give people? Now, the greatest part about, I think, interviewing you is, so I've known you now for years and years and years, and I've watched you grow from a little kid to a little kid, but you're really a very mature person. In terms of being a musician, you're an incredibly mature musician. And everybody, we played to, actually, I think we counted at 325 people. You played in front of 325 people this past one. Were you nervous at all?
Well, when I first got backstage, I was a little nervous. But then once I started hanging out with the girls, I was fine.
That's cool. So it's funny because you had your own private area with the girls, right? So you had all these people backstage, but you had your own private room hanging out, and you had, I think, your own sodas there. You were just hanging out and just chilling, taking pictures, and being goofy, right? So that's great. All right, so any words of advice for kids your age, just starting out, who might be asked to play a band? By the way, the confidence level that you have is off the charts, and I really want to commend that. I honor that because at 10 years old, I would be scared to be not only playing with people that are older than me, but to play real shows. You played an event that rock stars play in, and at 10 years old, you did that with 1 week of practice. Let's not forget to mention that you had the flu right up until your show, right? And you came in and you just performed. So what do you tell a kid who's 9 or 10 years old that gets that opportunity to play in a band, whether it's all girls or girls and guys? What do you tell that person if they're scared?
Just don't give up and go with what you want to do.
Go with what you want. And do you want to be a professional drummer? Do you really? That's awesome. You heard it here first, right here at Rock Out Loud. Sofia Pernice is going to be a famous drummer. So I'm so glad you joined us. This was super important. I really wanted to interview you because I feel like I've known you for so long, and I've known your dad. I was very, very scared of your dad. I called your dad Mr. Pernice for about 5.5 years until he said, "Goddamn, call me Joe!" And I said, "Sure, okay, I'll call you Joe." So I've been calling him Joe since then. But ever since then, your dad always, we used to see each other in the reception area. He was taking your lessons, whether it's guitar or whatever it was. But you come from a great family, and I really appreciate you coming out from Staten Island. That's dedication. You're super confident, and you're giving a lot of people an inspiration to pick up the sticks and want to play. You're awesome. And thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Sofia Pernice.